The day I bought the Grand Marina Hotel, everyone thought I was making a huge mistake. Maybe they were right. The Grand Marina Hotel was once beautiful, but now it was losing money fast. The reviews were terrible, and the staff had lost hope. But Grace Shin, my mentor for 15 years, had believed in me. Before she passed away, she made me promise I'd buy it. I'm Julia Mars, 34 years old. 3 months ago, I was the successful manager of the fancy Riverside Royale Hotel. Now, I own what people call a historic hotel that needs fixing. Others just call it a money pit. When I quit my job, my old boss, Richard Sterling, shook his head. "You're ruining your career," he said. Grace was too stubborn to change with the times. "That hotel will take you down with it." But Richard didn't know Grace like I did. She gave me my first hotel job when I was 19, cleaning rooms while studying hotel management. She saw something in me and taught me everything she knew. "Hotels aren't just buildings, Julia," she used to say with a smile. "They're places where life's big moments happen. Weddings, reunions, goodbyes, new beginnings. We help people make memories." 2 days before she died, she made me promise two things: to buy the Grand Marina when it went up for sale and to never ever sell it to the Riverside Hotel chain. "No matter what they offer," she said firmly. "There are documents in my office safe. The combination is your birthday." I promised her, not knowing I'd soon be selling my condo, emptying my savings, and taking out a big loan to keep that promise. The hotel's price was lower than expected. Grace's children just wanted to sell it quickly, but fixing it up would cost a fortune. On my first day as the owner, I walked through the building and saw why it was struggling. The once shiny marble floors were dull, the old chandeliers needed repairs, and the famous Riverside restaurant was barely running. But beneath the dust and broken lights, the hotel was still stunning. High ceilings, detailed woodwork, huge windows overlooking the river. They didn't make places like this anymore. Maria Garcia, the head housekeeper who had worked for Grace for 20 years, hesitated before speaking. "The staff were wondering if we still have jobs." I smiled, remembering what Grace always said: "The staff is the heart of a hotel." "Your jobs are safe, Maria. In fact, I'll need everyone's help to bring this hotel back to life." She looked relieved, but there was something else in her eyes. Worry? Fear? Before I could ask, she rushed off to tell the others. I walked to Grace's office, my office now. On the wall, photos showed the hotel through the years. Behind a painting of the river was the old safe. I entered my birthday as the combination, and it opened just as Grace had said. Inside were folders, a USB drive, and an envelope with my name on it. Before I could look at them, my phone rang. Richard Sterling. "Julia, my dear," he said in his smooth voice. "I heard about your big purchase. I just wanted to warn you, Riverside Hotels is expanding. Your hotel's location is perfect for us." I gripped the phone. "The hotel's not for sale, Richard." "Don't be so quick to decide," he said. "That old building is more trouble than it's worth. We're willing to pay a lot, 3 times what you paid." The amount was enough to clear my debts and set me up for life. But Grace's warning echoed in my mind. "I'm still not interested," I said firmly. Richard's tone changed. "That hotel will bankrupt you. And when it does, believe me, it will, our offer won't be this generous." He hung up, leaving me gripping the phone, my heart pounding. Richard Sterling had been trying to buy the Grand Marina for years. Even when things were at their worst, Grace never sold. Now I was starting to understand why. I opened the envelope with my name on it. Inside was a letter in Grace's familiar handwriting. "My dearest Julia, if you're reading this, it means you kept your promise. Thank you. I know this feels overwhelming, but you need to understand why keeping the Grand Marina away from Riverside Hotels is so important. The files in this safe don't just hold the hotel's history. They contain evidence, proof of something Richard Sterling has been hiding for 30 years. Something that could destroy him and the entire Riverside Hotel's empire. Start with the blue folder. You'll understand everything then. Be careful. Some of our staff were placed here by Sterling years ago. They've been spying on me, waiting for the right moment for him to take over. You are stronger than you know, Julia. I chose you not just because you're great at running a hotel, but because you have the courage to face what's coming. The hotel is your shield. The evidence is your weapon. Use them wisely. All my love, Grace." My hands trembled as I opened the blue folder. Inside were newspaper articles from 1993, police reports, financial records, and photographs. As I read, my stomach twisted. What Grace had discovered about Richard Sterling and his hotel empire was worse than anything I could have imagined. A knock at the door made me snap the folder shut. Thomas Fuller, the maintenance manager, stood there with an unreadable expression. "Everything okay, Mrs. Martinez? We noticed Mr. Sterling called." His tone made me remember Grace's warning. Some staff were working for Sterling. How long had Thomas been here? I struggled to remember. "Just a quick call," I said lightly, sliding the documents back into the safe, welcoming me to the business. He nodded, but his eyes lingered on the safe a little too long before he left. I exhaled slowly, my mind racing. This wasn't just about saving an old hotel anymore. I wasn't just fighting to save a hotel anymore. I was fighting to expose a truth that powerful people wanted buried. And the real danger, it wasn't just Richard Sterling or his spies. Grace had uncovered something much bigger, corruption that reached the highest levels of city government. Some of those people were still in power. That night, once everyone had left, I went through everything in Grace's safe. The story hidden in those old documents was shocking. Back in 1993, the Grand Marina was one of 5 successful independent hotels in the city. Then, one by one, they were hit with mysterious accidents and health code violations. Within 18 months, 4 were forced to sell, bought up by a new company, Riverside Hotels, owned by a young Richard Sterling. But Grace's late husband, Henry Chen, had suspected something was wrong. He hired a private investigator who uncovered the truth. Sterling had bribed health inspectors, paid people to plant vermin, and even caused accidents to damage the hotels. Even worse, Sterling's startup money had come from Marcus Reynolds, the city's building commissioner. Reynolds used his power to block renovation permits for independent hotels while fast-tracking approvals for Sterling. The investigator put together a full report, but the night before he could go to federal authorities, he died in a car accident. 3 months later, Henry Chen died too, falling down the Grand Marina's service stairs. Another accident. Grace inherited both the hotel and the evidence. But instead of going public right away, she played the long game, gathering more proof while pretending to be just a stubborn old woman who wouldn't sell. The USB drive contained newer evidence, emails proving Sterling was still using the same tactics, offshore accounts hiding bribes, and shady deals with current city officials. But the worst discovery was a set of security camera photos from the night Henry Chen died. They showed a younger Thomas Fuller, our maintenance manager, on the service stairs just before Henry's fatal fall. My stomach turned. Thomas wasn't just a spy for Sterling. He might have been a murderer. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Meeting tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Bring all files from the safe. No police or press or accident reports from 1993 go public. Your choice." They knew about the safe, which meant Thomas must have tipped them off. I had to think like Grace. She had kept this evidence safe for 30 years. How? I glanced at the wall of old hotel photos. One caught my eye. A 1995 picture of Grace standing in front of the newly reopened Riverside restaurant. It had been closed for months after a mysterious kitchen fire. That's when I knew what to do. I grabbed my phone and called Maria Garcia. She answered right away. "Mrs. Martinez? Is everything okay?" "Maria, how long have you worked here?" 23 years. Since just after Mr. Chen died. Grace, she saved me, gave me the job when... She hesitated. "There's something you need to know." An hour later, I had the full story. Maria had worked at one of the hotels Sterling had taken over. She had seen one of his stage accidents but had been too scared to speak out. Grace had hired her, protected her, and kept her statement safe. "There are others," Maria said. "Former staff from all the hotels Sterling bought. Grace kept us close, kept us safe, until the right time came." I spent the rest of the night making calls. By morning, I had statements from 15 former employees, all with the same story. Sterling's empire had been built on sabotage, corruption, and fear. And now it was time to bring it down. At 9:45 a.m., I walked into the grand ballroom. Thomas Fuller was already there, along with 2 men who looked like Sterling's lawyers. "The files," Thomas demanded. "Right here." I said, holding up a USB drive. But we should wait for the other guests first. What other? Before he could finish, the ballroom doors swung open. Maria led in a group of people, former hotel employees, all carrying documents. Behind them came an FBI team from the Public Corruption Unit responding to my early morning call. The lead agent stepped forward. Thomas Fuller, you're under arrest for the murder of Henry Chen and conspiracy to commit fraud. As the agents cuffed Thomas, Richard Sterling stormed in, red-faced with fury. You have no proof, he shouted. Actually, I said calmly, we have 30 years of proof. Grace Chen spent decades collecting evidence. Every bribe, every stage accident, every crooked deal. And more importantly, she protected the witnesses you thought you silenced. I gestured to the former employees. They're all ready to testify. Sterling's anger turned to panic. You'll regret this, he hissed. I have powerful friends. Commissioner Reynolds. I smiled. Check your phone, Mr. Sterling. The news is already everywhere. The fallout was massive. Sterling and several city officials were indicted. The Riverside hotel chain collapsed as the truth came out. But the Grand Marina, we thrived. The case brought us national attention, and the settlement money from Sterling's assets helped restore the hotel to its former glory. Every chandelier was rewired, the marble floors polished, the Riverside restaurant became the hottest spot in town. Most importantly, we kept what made the hotel special, its people. The staff Grace had protected became part of its legacy, a reminder of her courage and foresight. A year later, at a memorial gala for Grace and Henry Chen, the new mayor declared the Grand Marina an official city landmark. Maria found me later on the terrace, watching the sunset over the river. Grace would be proud, she said softly, not just of the hotel, but of you. You're like her, a long game player. I touched the jade pendant Grace had left me. She had taught me that success isn't just about business, it's about protecting what matters. People, principles, and truth. Yesterday, I found a note Grace had tucked into an old guest book. Hotels are more than buildings. They witness history. The Grand Marina survived corruption, and now stands as proof that patience, courage, and truth will always win. Keep its stories safe. Keep its people safer, and never stop believing in justice. I framed the note and hung it in my office. Next to it, I left space for new photos, new stories, new victories. Because Grace was right. Hotels aren't just buildings. They are places where life's most important moments unfold. And sometimes they are places where justice finally finds its stage.